Hey guys! Today's video is going to be all about back to school advice. Since I'm not actually in school anymore and this month's Wonderly theme is study, I thought I would use my infinite wisdom to teach you guys and give you advice about stuff. But I'll start out with just saying I graduated with a comm degree 2 years ago from the University of Washington, Tacoma. I was on my college paper for 3 years and I really enjoyed it. My school was really interdisciplinary, so I got to take classes from all kind of different majors, and it was kind of like a community college in that we had a lot of people going back to school, like a lot of older people in school. It was really small, like it was a really nice small campus within Tacoma. I highly recommend, if you can't afford going to school, if you can't afford like dorms, room and board, try to find like a commuter campus, like a maybe smaller campus from the university that you really want to attend. That's always a good option if you can't afford room and board right off the bat. Or community college if you like want to do that. Community college is always a great option for the first 2 years to get your associates, and then you can just go to regular college for 2 more years to get your bachelor's. Like, you don't have to go to school right out of high school. Don't make anybody tell you that you have to. So let's get to the questions. Tips for senior year of high school, ways to keep motivated. Join a club if you haven't already. I was on my high school paper and my senior year was actually really complicated. I was like in the hospital on and off, and I would just surround yourself with other motivated people. Senioritis is gonna happen. It's just gonna happen, and you're gonna wanna not go to school anymore. You're gonna wanna stay home, play hooky, maybe smoke a little weed and decide not to go to school one day. Don't do it all the time, but don't make yourself like hate school. Don't slack off to where it's gonna fuck up your college, but don't like drive yourself crazy either. How to balance school and leisure. Balance it. I don't know. Like I said, don't do too much of one thing. Don't put your nose to the grindstone 24/7, but don't goof off 24/7. How did you find your major? Are you glad you stuck with it and finished it through? Has it been worth it financially and mentally? It's been worth it mentally. I basically have been wanting to be a writer, anything to do with the news, since the 8th grade. So I basically had my major from the age of 15. That's just me, but I'm weird. If you don't know what you want to major in, I would say don't pick anything the freshman year. Don't pick anything your senior year of high school, because that's just ridiculous. Unless you really know what you want to do. Don't make anybody force you to pick something before you even entered college. My sister was a math major for 2 years and then she switched to recreation and she loves it. And she's gonna have to go to school probably for another semester so she can get all her classes in, because she picked a major that she didn't necessarily like when she got to college. Take your prereqs when you get there. Don't rush into picking a major. It hasn't necessarily been worth it financially quite yet, but hopefully in the next couple years it will be, because I picked a major that was in a dying industry. How to not stress out about college applications. Do them early, okay? Do them as early as you possibly can so you don't get to that point where you're like, I need to apply, I need to apply to so many schools. Apply early. Just do that. Apply early. Take the SAT as many times as you can so you can have the highest score you possibly can. Do not wait till the last second, because I knew way too many people who waited until the last second and it blew up in their face. How to make new friends if the ones you're around suck. Again, I can't make this clear enough. Join clubs. Do activities, go to orientation and sign up for all the clubs when you get to college, because making new friends in college is like the hardest thing ever, because whether you're in a small school or a big school, you're surrounded by people of all walks of life who know what they want to do or don't know what they want to do, and it's really hard. If you're a senior in high school, surprisingly enough, I made a lot of new friends at the end of senior year. Slowly distance yourself from your sucky friends and maybe like help them get a clue that like you don't want to hang out with them anymore. Just like don't cut them off automatically, but just kind of be like, oh, I can't hang out this weekend, and then just like the longer you don't go hanging out, the more maybe they'll get it. I don't know. I never really had one of those like slow breakoffs of friendships later in life. I had them when I was a little kid. Later in life, my breakoffs of friendships have been like, bam, like no more friendship with you because you suck. Don't do that. How do you go from a small high school to a large university and not feel completely alone and lost? Chances are you're not the only person who feels that way. So don't feel like that you are alone in this aloneness, because most freshmen are gonna feel like that, especially if you're going to like UW or any school that has over like 20,000 people. You're gonna feel so useless and like you don't matter, and that sucks. And I'm sorry. Talk to one person, at least one person every day when you go to school, especially the first day. Join clubs, do activities, textbooks. This is the most important question. Somebody else gave advice, don't buy textbooks until after the first day, when your teacher most likely will tell you what textbooks you need. Do that. Don't buy textbooks before the first day of school. And if you're in a smaller university, I will give you a little cheat sheet. Chances are your university is in a library system, and that library system consists of your campus and any of the smaller campuses of that same university, and maybe some surrounding schools. You could look up books from all of those libraries to check out. If there's a chance that your textbook is in that library system, check it out as quickly as possible. There's a lot of people that buy their textbooks new and then they waste $300 the first semester of school that they could have saved and used for other things at school, used for food, used for gas money. Don't buy the newest edition, because the newest edition is gonna be twice as much money. Unless it's like a book that you have to write in, don't buy a new one. For the love of God, do not buy a brand new book. Buy them secondhand, buy the older editions, Amazon.com. I know Rachel did a back to school advice thing, and she mentioned a couple websites that do like digital books, and I'll put a link to her video below because that was a really good one. I never used those, but definitely check out your library system to see if those textbooks are in stock with any of the libraries that you're in conjunction with, and you'll be fine for a few days at the beginning of the semester if you don't have your book. If you think that you need to have all your stuff on the first day of class, you're wrong. Most of the time on your first day of class, you'll leave class early because they'll just give you your syllabus and then you can go about your way and then go to your next class. Don't freak out about the first day. Just think about getting there on time. You don't have to have everything with you. How do I get people around me to stop offering their advice about my future? I understand all of them want to help, but if I want advice, I'll ask. It's gonna happen, especially the later you get in school. Once you get to be like juniors and seniors, even sophomores, people are gonna be like, oh, what are you gonna do after you're done with college? Where are you going to school? Are you gonna get married after school? People are gonna be really nosy once you get out of school, especially family members. Family members are the worst. Hide all of your Facebook updates from family members because they don't need to see that. You don't have to unfriend them because then they'll feel like you don't like them, but just hide your updates. The less they see of your life, the less they'll think about butting into it. What's a good way to meet new people as a sophomore in college? Can't go to the bars, but isn't a freshman who has lots of freshman-y things to do to meet people. Sophomore year is the worst year of your life because you're not a freshman, you don't get that excuse, but you're not an upperclassman. So you're in this weird limbo land. You're like the middle child that doesn't get all the perks of being the young child, but also doesn't get the perks of being the old child. Again, try to stick to an activity. Sophomore year really does suck, especially if you went into school right after high school. Because you're 20 and you can't go to bars, and that is the worst. Like, the age of 20 is the worst age to be. I don't want to have to tell you just like suck it up and ride it out, but you're just gonna have to do that because it's that way for everybody. I'm a college freshman and just had my first day of classes today. I thought it'd be easier to talk to people and make new friends, but now being at a huge university, I've been proved wrong. Other than just talking to people, how can I meet genuine friends? That's hard. So as a freshman, I would stick with the other freshmen, especially if you have like a core kind of set of classes that you need to be taking. Try to stick close to those people that you take other classes with, and maybe try to start study groups, because study groups are a really nice way to kind of become friends with people with the facade of studying together. It's a good way to meet guys too, like, oh hey, do you want to study together? Wink wink. Study groups are a really great way to get to know people because you all need that. You all need to like study. Don't take 8 o'clock classes. Don't take the early classes because you're just setting yourself up for failure, especially in your first year. Try to take the later classes so you can kind of ease in, especially in the first semester, because God knows you do not want to get up for 8 o'clock classes. At that point, you'll probably just be wearing pajama pants and a sweatshirt to school, and that's not always cute. I'll probably be doing some sort of like fall lookbook thing that can count as a back to school, but like I'm telling you, I haven't been in school in 2 years, so back to school isn't relevant to me anymore. I hope that this was helpful, and if you guys have any more questions, any more life conundrums, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, have a great school year. Check out Wonderly if you haven't already, because I love Wonderly. Song of the day today, Okay, my friend Kris Orlowski did a cover of Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time. The video went up last week and it's beautiful. I can't say enough how much I love that cover, and I'm like, wait, I never knew that I wanted this cover to happen until it happened. Have you ever had one of those moments? It's like, oh, I never thought I would want this, but now that I have it, I'm so glad I do. It's kind of like cookie butter in that sense, but yeah, I'll put a link to that right here because it's beautiful and it doesn't have nearly enough views, and it was for the Invisible Children Almost Live acoustic series, which is wonderful because Kris is all about charity and I love that. So check that out and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Don't surround yourself by slackers, just surround yourself by the right kind of people. Like, that's the best advice I can give you. Don't hang out with losers.